Thank you so much. And thank you for the privilege of joining this distinguished forum and all of my colleagues, the impressive gathering of folks who are deeply committed to this. And I'm especially happy to be here with my friend Alok Sharma, who's working hard and doing a terrific job of helping to prepare for our meeting in Glasgow. I'm super pleased to be joining Pak Luhut. He and I have been in very close conversation this year, and I'm traveling to Indonesia very shortly and look forward to having a terrific visit. I want you to know that when I saw on my schedule that I was taking part in the THK forum, I was a little shocked at first because usually on my schedules, that's referring to my wife, Teresa Heinz Kerry, THK. So I wasn't quite sure what she was cooking up or somebody was cooking up for me. But Pak Luhut and I joined this effort with a very common interest. His grandchildren have urged him to do more to care for our environment. And he shared with me in a very personal way his determination not to let his grandchildren down. And I know for me, I was very privileged when I had the opportunity to sign the Paris Agreement at the UN. And I brought I was babysitting actually at the moment when they called my name. So it was not preordained, but I walked out with my grandchild and she sat on my lap for the signing of the Paris Agreement. So Pak Luhut and I and all of you, I know, every one of us shares very personal commitment to this endeavor. We have had a chance to talk very intensively about how we can work together to accelerate our efforts, to accelerate Indonesia's efforts, our efforts, and the efforts of people all around the world. And we created this new US-Indonesia Climate Working Group, which we launched way back in April. And it's been working extremely successfully. A lot of progress, a lot of common thought. And I think out of it will come some raising of ambition. And we're very pleased that President Jokowi has really thrown himself into this effort. Let me just remind everybody, if I may, every week, almost every day, we are reading new bulletins of science, of reports that I have to tell you are frankly depressing, if that's all you watch and look at. Just the other day, there was another scientific report talking about the balance of heat in and heat out, and the degree to which the heat out component has been diminished, contributing to the warming, that balance that we've usually had. And that's the nature of greenhouse gases, which compress us, sort of spread a blanket over the earth and don't let the heat back out. But the warming that is taking place around the world is manifesting itself this summer with an intensity that is frightening. We are suffering a drought, unprecedented in America. We have the lowest reservoir levels in Hoover Dam that we've seen since 1937. We have record days of heat. It's in the Middle East, where I just was the other day. The same intensities around the world, record heats in various places. And we're seeing feedback loops that are coming back faster and bigger than the scientists predicted. So the science is being more and more firmed up and is more certain. And the scientists have told us unequivocally in 2018, when the IPCC reported to us that indeed well below 2 degrees is probably not sufficient to avoid much of the great damage that can be anticipated if we don't. And so we're all now recommitting to the 1.5 degrees, and out of President Biden's summit came a commitment from 55% of global GDP to adhere to the 1.5 degrees. And that includes Canada, Japan, and Europe, the UK, the United States, all joining in this effort, with Indonesia Korea, other countries around the world now struggling to figure out, okay, how are we going to raise our ambition? What are we going to do here? Because the experts have told us that 2.5 years ago, we had 12 years within which to make and implement the critical decisions that would avoid the worst consequences of the climate crisis. The fact is, now 2.5 years later, and I regret enormously the non-action of my country, the fact that we had a president who inexplicably, inexcusably, recklessly took us out of the agreement and slowed us down. He didn't stop us because a lot of America stayed committed. And we had 37 states with renewable portfolio laws, and we continued to implement them. But I can't tell you that it didn't hurt the momentum, and I can't tell you that it didn't hurt our credibility. That it did hurt our credibility, obviously, also. So we're not asking any country to do something that we're not willing to do, nor is Britain, nor is Europe. The developed world is stepping up here. But we believe, and there's a lot more that we can do and must do. And that's why the United States announced a new target of 50 to 52% reduction over the next 10 years. And I know it's great that we're getting a lot of people to step up and say 2050 net zero, but 2050 obviously is 30 years away. And that's a long time. And the fact is, we can't wait for people to sort of say, okay, I'll really be serious about this by 2040 or 2035. We have to be serious now, for the simple reason that the science has been clear that if we do not reduce enough between 2020 and 2030, then we cannot get net zero by 2050. Also, we will kill the opportunity to hold the temperature increase to 1.5 degrees. Now, I know 1.5 degrees even is hard. That's tough, but it is still within theoretical reach. It's within the realm of possibility. And we owe it, if we're going to talk about our grandchildren, our future, to live up to our responsibility to do what is possible. That's how serious this is. So let me just emphasize to everybody, some of the people who don't want change, some of the money and vested interests, the powerful entities that want to keep the little pipeline they've got going, whether it's for their product or whether it is fossil fuel, whatever it is, they have tried for years now to tell people, well, you can't do that because you won't have the electricity, or you won't be able to watch television, or you won't be able to eat, your food production will go down. And the fact is, that is a lie. That is not true. This is not a choice between economic growth and or dealing with the environment. The fact is that all over the world today, countries are moving, and they're finding that these new jobs are cleaner jobs, that their air can be cleaner, their health can be better, that their economy is stronger, their security is stronger. And that is what we have to keep our eye on. In the United States last year, the fastest growing job of all was wind turbine technician. The third fastest growing job was solar panel installer. And the truth is, we have a massive amount of work to do to build out a new grid in America, to do different things, to strengthen our infrastructure, to withstand the change of climate, to adapt, to build resilience. All of these are things that we now need to do. And this economic revolution that we are looking at should not scare people, it should excite people. It's the greatest economic opportunity the world has faced since the Industrial Revolution in the late 1800s. And we have seen how that changed life for the better for millions of people. The severe poverty level when I went to college in the 1960s was over 50%. Today, the severe poverty level around the world, as horrible as it is to see in many places, is less than 10%. So we're curing some diseases. We're fighting back together. We're able to do things more importantly. And I think together, and I think that this is an opportunity for us to work together. We are working with Minister LaHoot to help bring finance to the table that will facilitate our ability to deploy renewable, to create new partnerships, to be able to bring technology to the table and help Indonesia to be able to do what I know it wants to do and President Jokowi wants to do, which is move to the future, to this new economy where we're better balanced with nature itself. So Pak Luhut and I and President Jokowi understand that we have an opportunity to show the world Indonesia's increased climate ambition, a chance to make to see Indonesia join in the upper level tier of true global leadership on this on the climate crisis, and to help us prepare for Indonesia's leadership of the G20 next year. I'm very excited about working with you in that endeavor. I wish you a terrific discussion in the course of today as you consider all the options available. I'm very thankful to all of you for gathering and for your interest in this. And just remember, folks, this is not a lack of capacity that we are staring at. We have the capacity. It's a lack of will. We have to make the decisions that the world is looking to us to make. So thank you for the privilege of joining you. And thank you, Pak Luhut, for your friendship. I look forward to seeing you in person when I get out there.